So after the game between Real Madrid and Barcelona, Xavi was asked this: what is the situation of Dembele? And this is what Xavi had to say: we will see. In the transfer window, you never know. I think he's happy with us. If there is something, he will tell us. For now, he's here and he is very happy. So you would think that there would be no saga regarding Dembele and Barcelona. And after seeing Dembele's awesome performance against Real Madrid, right, by scoring a goal and providing all of these attacking threats, you're like, okay, like great, like Dembele is here to stay. There, he's not gonna go anywhere. This is the project for him. If anything, we got the complete reverse. This is not the day, because it has been reported by numerous outlets that PSG are doing everything they can to get at Dembele, and Dembele and the agent are listening. And many reports are also stating that Dembele is more outside of Barcelona than inside. And so a lot of this is reminding me of how the Neymar case went back in 2017, right? So like, for example, everyone is saying that Dembele is going to be staying, right? And he's not going to be going anywhere. And now we're seeing that Dembele could leave. The same thing happened with Neymar. We all thought that Neymar was not going to go anywhere. He scored that amazing goal against Juventus where he took down 4 to 5 players inside the box, but then he ended up leaving. We can even talk about the clubs that these two players are being affiliated with. Neymar went to PSG, and maybe Dembele could go to PSG. We can also talk about how Barcelona made the career of Neymar. Barcelona have also made the career of Dembele. Xavi has given Dembele everything, very similar to how Luis Enrique gave Neymar everything and made him a star player. Let's even talk about the financial gain. Neymar left to PSG to get paid even more. There was no reason, spoilingly, for Neymar to move to PSG, but because PSG were so willing to offer him 50 million, 60 million euros a season, Neymar left to that club. And I'm sure that PSG right now are offering Dembele a humongous amount of money. Whatever Dembele is making over here at Barcelona, I bet you PSG is offering like 4 to 5x the amount. So it's annoying because right now we're in a state of focus. We want Barcelona to be 100% focused on just football, and we don't want any player leaving as long as they're a player that Xavi does want. We don't need any of these players considering a move to a different club. This preseason is very important, and we have a La Liga debut in about 2 weeks. But look, I understand that this is part of football. We understand that nothing in football is perfect, just like how nothing in life is perfect, right? You have certain plans that you want to achieve, and life gets in the way. The same thing can be with football. We have things that we want to achieve. We want to be 100% focused on our goal, mark as many wins, but then there's always things that do happen in the background, like right now, right? There's the agent being very interested in moving his client, Dembele, to a different club, while we know that Xavi Hernandez is 100% focused on his project, and Dembele is part of this project, and we all know this. So this is going to be a very heavy loaded video. It's going to be very, I would say, detailed, and so you're going to have to pay very close attention to all of the things that I'm going to be announcing in this video. Again, it's going to be very heavy loaded. I'm pretty sure that after this video, you're going to be very overwhelmed by the amount of information we are about to talk about today. So let's start right. And it says here, according to Adria Albets, that Barcelona's proposal is until 2027, right? That proposal is on the table for Dembele, but the player's environment demands 6 to 7 million euros more in terms of salary and variables per season. And this is something that Barcelona cannot accept, right? So let's say, for example, Barcelona is offering 8 million euros a season for Dembele, right? No problem. But the agent and everybody else surrounding Dembele are saying, no, we need 7 to 8 million euros more a year on top of that. And we want 16 million euros or 17 million euros, right? It's crazy. And so I believe that this is the reason on why the agent, Sissoko, is looking at different offers. And I believe that PSG is monitoring exactly what is going on between these two parties, Barcelona and the agent. And that is where PSG gets entered into the picture, and why we're hearing today that PSG is a real option for Dembele. Keep in mind that the agent of Dembele, Sissoko, was present in the game between Barcelona and Real Madrid, and the reason why the agent was there is because he knows that there is business that needs to be done between his client and another club, and so they're working together closely and talking every hour. And again, I want to emphasize, PSG is putting the pressure on the player and on the agent to say, hey, look, like let's look for a deal now. Let's do this. We can make this happen within the next 10 hours. And again, it's just so annoying. Like for all of this to be happening while Barcelona was winning 3-0 against Real Madrid, you can just see the where Barcelona was going to go, where we're going with this. You see how there's good vibes within every player and in the fan base, and just to have like just this, right, just on the side happening, it's very annoying. And so look, PSG have made an offer which is 50 million euros, and that is what Barcelona have asked for. That is his release clause. And again, I'm sure that they're offering him higher wages. It says here, according to Mateo Moreto, that Sissoko wants Dembele to accept the PSG offer immediately. So we are in the hands of Dembele. He's the one to decide whether he wants to accept the offer or not. And let me tell you guys another thing. The fact that we're waiting so many hours right now, like we're waiting like 6, 7, 8 hours about what could be Dembele's decision, it does make me nervous, because if Dembele really wanted to stay and he is not even considering on moving to a different club and he's only committed to Barcelona, he would have ruled this off immediately. He would have told Barcelona to say to the media that he doesn't want to go anywhere and that he's just 100% focused at Barcelona. Like, let's look at the Kylian Mbappe and Barcelona situation. There was multiple reports about Kylian Mbappe being an option for Barcelona and that Barcelona is interested, but Barcelona about 2 or 3 hours later, they ruled it off and they said that there's nothing going on. It's a stupid rumor and that, you know, just ignore it. Barcelona can do the exact same thing if we knew that Dembele told Barcelona to say something, but we don't have that answer from Barcelona. We don't have anything coming from the club, which makes me believe there is advanced negotiations going on between the agent and PSG, and Barcelona are very well aware of that. And this is why we also hear, according to Gerard Romero, he has stated that a part of the club believes that Dembele could leave tomorrow within the next 24 to 38 hours. So because of all of this, right, because of all of these movements, it was also said, according to Gerard Romero, that Xavi and Dembele are going to meet today, maybe at this very moment that you guys are watching this video, and talk about his future and why Dembele should stay at Barcelona. I'm sure that Xavi Hernandez is going to try and convince the player, while Dembele is going to be talking about his side. Now, let's say, for example, right, like Xavi tries to convince Dembele, and then Dembele is like, you know, I kind of do want to move to PSG, but I'm happy here at Barcelona, and it ends up stalling. Like, all of these decisions coming from Dembele, like, comes to a complete stop and he needs more time. That's low-key a good thing for Barcelona, and let me tell you guys why. If we go into the month of August, Dembele's release clause is no longer going to be 50 million euros. It's going to double that. By August 1st, Dembele's release clause will be 100 million euros. And the best thing from all of this is that we're not going to have to share half of the transfer fee, because right now, if Dembele was to move and accept the offer for 50 million euros, half of the 50 million euros is going to go to Dembele and the agent, and the other half is going to go to Barcelona, which would be a total of 25 million euros. And that's basically it. We don't even get the full amount. But if we go into August 1st, and then when his transfer fee goes to 100 million euros and PSG buy him for 100 million euros, the full amount will go to Barcelona. There's not going to be a 50-50 split. And so with these negotiations of Dembele saying, like, you know, I need to think about it, I need a few more days because Xavi really convinced me, but we also have this offer coming from PSG, that's low-key a good thing. But this is where things get very complicated, right? Because if he's actually thinking about whether he wants to go to PSG or Barcelona, it's not also low-key a good thing. Because if he's debating, why do we want to have a player that was debating about going to a different club? We don't want any player in our club that was thinking about going to a different club. Like, look at Pep Guardiola and how he handles his players at Man City. If a player wants to leave and he was debating on whether to go to a different club, Pep Guardiola, if anything, just pushes for that player to go to that club and just says, you know, I don't want any player at Man City to ever have second thoughts about representing this batch. And so it's a good and bad thing if Dembele is stalling on his decision. It's a very complicated situation, I'm telling you guys. I know that you guys are getting like overwhelmed and stuff like that, but this is just, it's a lot to take in. So I'm sure that there is tensions between all parties, and I hope that in the end Xavi just convinces Dembele and he says that he wants to stay and just rule off everything that is going on, not even receive the 100 million euros. We just keep Dembele, and that's basically it. There's no need for like extra drama going on in this club. So now let's step away from all of these details, right, and just talk about what if this happens and what if Dembele goes on this day to PSG, what would happen. Let's step away from all of those details and all of this, like, just this chaos, right? I want to talk about another thing. I'm confused right now. I'm confused because Xavi did revive his career and he also gave him a lot of confidence. And Xavi even told Dembele that he can become a key player at Barcelona and become the best in the world in his position. And so the fact that Dembele has not taken the stand to say and tell Barcelona to completely rule off any deal and that he wants to stay at the club, the fact that he hasn't done that yet, and the fact that we're over here worrying on whether Dembele is going to be staying or leaving, I'm surprised he's not doing Barcelona and us that favor, because Barcelona have given him everything sportingly and again revived his career. Like, who was Dembele back in 2018, 19, and 20? Many were saying that Dembele is not going to be a good player and that he's finished and he's an injury prone, but ever since Xavi came in, he revived his career, and we as fans have stuck with him through the years, through all those setbacks and injuries. If anything, Dembele has to pay it forward. And keep in mind, the project that Barcelona is building right now, it's growing, and it's growing in the right direction. You and me know this. And the fact that Dembele has to debate about this still with a project from PSG is just, it's embarrassing, right? There's no reason why Dembele should choose PSG besides the money. And that's another thing that worries me, is that if you're really debating, it's because you're seeing dollar signs. You're not seeing see in the sporting project. And if that's really going to be the case, right? If we find out that the reason why he moved to PSG was because of money, that's straight betrayal after what Barcelona have given to the player. Again, it's going very similar to the route of Neymar. We gave Neymar everything back in 2017, and we thought Neymar would stay because we revived his career. We made him into the player that he was supposed to be once he moved away from Brazil. But then he moved to PSG, gained all this money, but now looked at what happened with Neymar 6 years later. He should have never left in the first place. Neymar had everything at Barcelona, and Dembele currently also does have the same. And so I hope that in a way Dembele is looking at that case of Neymar and say, I don't want to repeat the exact same thing. Like, what am I thinking? Like, why am I debating on whether to go to PSG or to stay at Barcelona? Why am I letting my agent influence my decisions? I should stay at Barcelona and continue to build myself in this project that Barcelona is building overall. And so now let's move on towards another conversation. Let's talk about what happens if the worst case scenario happens at Barcelona. What could possibly be the best thing that we can do if the worst case scenario happens? Like, for example, if Dembele leaves by August 3rd or August 4th or August 5th, and we know that we have to replace Dembele, what's the best possible thing that we could do? Well, here's the thing. If Barcelona is going to be receiving 100 million euros from Qatar, 60 million euros from Orphis Media, something that we talked about 4 days ago, and then another 100 million euros or 90 million euros from Dembele, I'm sure that with all of these funds that we're going to be receiving, we can definitely bring in someone like Bernardo Silva to reinforce the right wing position. Because let me tell you, this is going to be Xavi's biggest obstacle if Dembele leaves, is to find a replacement and make up for the loss that Barcelona could go through. Because if we look at this team today and what Barcelona is today, the best teammate that the four-man midfield have right now, it is Dembele. Like Pedri, Gavi, Frankie, and Gundogan, or Oriol Romeo, Frankie, Pedri, and Gundogan, like that four-man midfield, they love playing with Dembele. They love finding Dembele in the attack. He is their best teammate. And so Xavi's gonna have to find someone with as much quality as Dembele, and that player could be Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva is the answer. And I'm sure that this is also going to ripple effect to other players. Like if Dembele leaves and he injects another 100 million euros back into this club, that also means that Abde is going to be staying for sure, right? But that's not the conversation that we're trying to have. So Bernardo Silva will for sure be the reinforcement. But look, I hope that tomorrow we just hear that Dembele has made his decision and, you know, he apologizes to everybody and says like, hey, I'm sorry that I debated about this decision. I fully want to embrace Barcelona. I want to be here for a very long time. I'm not even thinking about going to PSG. I want to stay here. And then we just let go of all of this unnecessary drama and we just focus on the game between AC Milan and Barcelona with Dembele starting in the attack. That's all I really want to see. I don't want to see Dembele leave at all. Of course, there is going to be some sort of financial gain if he does leave, which is going to be 100 million euros, but we don't want him to leave, right? Xavi trusts him. And I also, if Xavi trusts Dembele, I'm also going to be trusting Dembele. So that is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.